Hi everybody, I'm talking today about my road to recovery from my injury. Back in April, almost exactly 6 months ago to the day, I succeeded in breaking my ankle whilst on Camino, or here in Germany it's the Jakobsweg. I was walking the Via Imperii on my way to Santiago and stepped off the path briefly, boom, over I went. The rest is history. I did a video covering the accident at the time. Now this is about the road to recovery. I ended up in the Ploughman Hospital for the next few days, and I would like to say at this point, I could not have asked for better care. Everybody from the ambulance crew through the doctors, nurses, surgeon, etc., physiotherapist, absolutely superb. Really top-notch care. It's not a massive place. Ploughman is around 70,000 people, about the same size as my hometown of Hastings back in New Zealand. And the care that I received was just absolutely top-notch. So for that, I am very grateful. So after I got home, the first thing I needed to do was visit my local doctor and of course find an appropriate specialist. My doctor is just 2 kilometres away, so it's normally about a 20-minute walk. But yeah, couldn't walk, can't drive the car with a broken ankle. My son doesn't have his driver's license yet, so taxi it was. There was no way I was going to get a taxi for the 750 metres to the nearby specialist. So I decided to walk with my new crutches. They became my best friends for the next few weeks. That was a mistake. That 750 metres took me 45 minutes with multiple stops on the way. My shoulders were wrecked after carrying me just 750 metres because I've got very weak shoulders, and supporting the weight of a backpack's one thing. Supporting me 10 times the weight of my backpack is a whole different story. Never mind, I got there and I learned that in future, at least for the next few weeks, I was going to have to call a taxi. But fortunately, I've got wonderful neighbours. My son is absolutely brilliant. While he may not have a driver's license, there was nothing to stop him picking up groceries in a backpack. And so that's what he did for the next little while. This was where I washed for the next 2 weeks because I was not allowed to get my foot wet. And I asked about plastic bagging it, and they said, no, stand-up washers only. Well, of course I wasn't able to stand, but kneeling and sitting on the chair and kind of the next best thing. I was very grateful when I graduated from doing this to doing this. Yes, good old garden chair in the shower syndrome. Because of the fact that I was not supposed to put more than 10% of my weight on my foot, I used this a lot over the next few weeks. As you can see, it folds up really easily, so I just went in the corner. But oh my goodness, thank goodness for simple garden chairs. I spent the majority of the next 8 weeks lying on this couch with my foot propped up. And for many weeks after that, still, every time I'd been out for a walk or something, my foot would get swollen, the ice packs would come out, the foot would go up, and a book could come out. Oh, thank goodness for my bookshelves. And of course, dare I say it, Netflix, and the Camino forum. Boy, did that help. After that 7 or 8 week period, I was allowed to start walking with, of course, the crutches to support me again. I think on my 8th week after the accident, I finally walked 1 kilometre. It was a major milestone for me. It took a while. I was pretty sweaty when I'd done it, but I got there, and step by step I built up from there. I started physio around the same time. I wasn't allowed to do any physio prior to that. Surgeon's instructions is what it is. You go with what you're told. After around 10 or 12 weeks, I stopped using the crutches, but I started using my good old poles. The reason for that was it was suggested by my chiropractor. They pointed out that I still wasn't very stable. Whilst my front back motion on my foot was starting to get there, I was starting to build some strength, I had zero sideways strength, motion, etc. And yeah, you really don't want to have a fall again. So they strongly suggested that I use my hiking poles. It kind of felt a little bit odd, walking all around town and the shops and everything else using them, but hey, you do what you've got to do, right? Since the beginning of June, which was just over 2 months after my accident, I was in the position where I was basically just doing whatever I could. Bunch of exercises from the physio, including workouts on the stairs and things along those lines. I suppose it's one fortunate aspect of living in the first floor apartment. There's stairs immediately outside my door. So I did that multiple times a day, started going out for more and more short walks, again every day, back to the couch, foot raised. But hey, I'm one of the fortunate ones. I love reading. And so I was in the position that I could just pull some of my favourite authors off the bookshelves and rework my way back through the multiple series that I have. So it could have been a lot worse. Incidentally, I've also got a balcony, and while it's not the best view in the world, at least I was in the position that at some point during every day I could sit out on the balcony with my foot raised, generally speaking, and enjoy the sunshine. One thing I'd like to emphasise is how important my friends and family members were during that period. I had visits from quite a number of people. I also had messages from people on the Camino forum, and whilst it may not seem like much, a simple message from somebody who really barely only knows you, I mean, they only know me through the forum, it really meant an awful lot. Just lifts your spirits. It's quite amazing how good it feels to actually have somebody reach out and go, "How you doing, mate?" Yeah, kind of a good feeling. So anybody that watches from the forum, thank you. Very much appreciated. So what am I up to now? Well, I am back to walking. I'm still not yet fully there. My ankle still hurts like hell after a longer day, and by longer I mean anything over 15 kilometres. So I'm very far from Camino fit. My typical Camino days were between 20 and 30 Ks, and certainly after a week or so on trail, it was never an issue for me to walk a few more kilometres than that. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling at the moment. I had really wanted to finish the last segment of the Via Imperii, and I simply can't. There is no public transport in the middle of one of my longer days, and that would mean that I would have to do 25 Ks. I did 18 Ks on Friday, so 4 or 5 days ago now, and yeah, I managed it. But the next day, there was no way that I was capable of going out and doing any distance. Walking around the block, 5 Ks or so, that's one thing. But to be able to go and do the next 18 kilometres that I would need to finish that section just wasn't going to happen. So it's really gutting because I've had perfect weather and I still haven't been working. And so it would have just been the best thing for my mental health, let alone my physical health, to have actually been able to get out there and walk. I'm filming this inside because now we've got rain, and it's looking like it's going to be that way for the next little while to come. It's autumn. This is hardly surprising, and believe me, I'm not complaining. We need the rain. But from a personal point of view, I just want to walk. And I am cautious at the moment of walking in the rain because it's slippery. And I know that my stability is not as good as it should be. I'm going to get there. But even 6 months on, I'm still getting physio. They're all going, "Oh, you don't need us anymore. Look, you're walking 15 kilometres. You walk absolutely fine." Yeah, I do when it's on the tarmac. But put me out on a trail, the moment my ankle starts to tip, it's not a very good feeling, I have to say. So I'm just having to take it quietly. What my very first surgeon in hospital said to me is probably going to be 100% true. It's going to take from 6 months to a year. I'm at the 6-month mark now. So I guess another couple of months and I'll be in a position where I can comfortably walk 20, 25 kilometers and repeat that the next day. I know I've said this in my own training videos, just take it slow. But hey, what can I say? Patience is not one of my virtues. All right, everybody, thanks very much for watching. If you've got any queries in terms of the recovery side of things or anything like that, because you're in a similar situation yourself, please reach on out. More than happy to hear from you, and if I can help, that'd be fantastic. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Buen Camino.